An action-packed Group A matchup set for match day 1 here in the 2021 Concacaf Futsal Championship. And it's the one that the natives have been waiting for and they wish they could be inside for. Guatemala against Dominican Republic here at Domo Polideportivo in Guatemala City, Guatemala. Things get going in Group A as Guatemala, who won the title in 2008, are looking to win it once again. They've made the semis and have qualified for the World Cup in each of the last 3 tournaments, and they're looking to do so again back on home soil here in 2021. Joe Malfa here with you for the last match of the evening. A 5-game day, which we will have once again tomorrow. Now things getting started in Group A. Guatemala, Trinidad and Tobago, Dominican Republic. Guatemala looked at as the heavy favorites to get out of the group. But to start things off, they go up against the newcomers, Dominican Republic. This is their tournament debut. They've never before appeared in a CONCACAF Futsal Championship. As a result, they're the lowest ranked team in the tournament, but things are pointing up, and there are a lot of people who believe this team can surprise some. A lot of members of this team have played abroad for club teams in Spain. They have experience, they have talent, they have a chance to surprise and be the second team out of this group, led by head coach Carlos Boccicardi, the Argentine international, who coached Dominican Republic's U18 women's futsal team during the Youth Olympic Games in 2018. He has worked closely with Diego Giustozzi. He is a fellow countryman who is the head coach of the reigning World Cup champs Argentina after he led them to that crown in 2016. And you're as good as the company you keep. For Boccicardi, the company he's keeping is the head coach of the World Cup winners. So we will see if that magic of Argentina is able to rub off on the Dominican Republic as they make their CONCACAF Futsal Championship debut here in a moment. Guatemala usually enjoys a very raucous home field advantage. And while we wish we could have the fans at every game, we particularly wish we could see them out there for a Guatemala game on home soil. But of course, given the times, not possible. The safest way to play this with COVID restrictions, no fans, just players. And those players coming out of the tunnel. Set to begin the 5th match of the day and the first in Group A. Dominican Republic taking the field first. They were originally part of Group C, moved over to Group A after Martinique and Guadeloupe were forced to withdraw due to COVID. And they draw Guatemala, the hosts, one of the favorites to make the semis and perhaps the title game, now taking the field. They finished in 3rd place in 2016. Of course, the goal is to at least qualify for the World Cup. But with their recent success in serving as hosts, they're only truly satisfied with lifting the trophy for a 2nd time. I step away for a moment as we pause for the national anthems.
Pedimos ponerse de pie para el himno nacional de la República Dominicana, seguido por el himno nacional de Guatemala.
Salve el pueblo que entre
see the emotion on the faces. You imagine what was going through the minds of the Guatemalan players, normally being serenaded by the fans as well, packing this arena during the playing of that song. But playing for them tonight as they watch from their homes and hoping to lift the trophy. The American Josh Wilkins flips the coin, one of the referees tonight. Captain David Rondon for Dominican Republic. Alan Aguilar for Guatemala. And a look at the rest of the starting five for Dominican Republic. Jose Perez in goal. Grancy Moscoso, David Rondon, Hector Perez, and Marco Gomez, the other four. And the head coach, as I mentioned, Carlos Boccicardi, the Argentinian. For Guatemala, Jose Reyes, Edgar Santizo, Jose Mancia, Alan Aguilar, and Jonathan Arevalo, who is a holdover from 2016. Head coach Jaime De Leon. Arevalo scored 4 goals in 1 game back in 2016. Guatemala hoping to have as good of a start as the teams we saw in the last 2 matches. Panama 11-1 over Suriname. Costa Rica 7-0 over Haiti. Both of those teams perceived as favorites in this tournament. Costa Rica won in 2016. Panama came in second in 2016. And this Guatemala team came in third. So for the messages that were sent by Costa Rica and Panama, Guatemala looking to send one of their own tonight. The third team in this group, Trinidad and Tobago. They will begin their tournament tomorrow night against Dominican Republic. It will be an off day for Guatemala before they round out their group stage play against Trinidad on Wednesday. Just about set to begin the action. Guatemala in their white kits with the light blue stripe diagonally across. Dominican Republic in their navy blues. Awaiting the whistle from Josh Wilkins. There it is, and we are underway from Domo Polideportivo in Guatemala City, Guatemala. The host team looking to start with a statement. Finished in 3rd place in 2016. They won the title in 2008. And they have qualified for the World Cup each of the last 3 instances. Quickly, nearly a goal for Dominican Republic. Did not take a touch on the way in, cannot score directly. Aguilar to Arevalo. Again, scored 4 goals in 1 matchup back in the 2016 tournament. Dominican Republic supplying some very heavy pressure early on. Again, this side making their first ever appearance in the Concacaf Futsal Championship. Thus, the lowest ranked team in the tournament, but a team that many in the know believe could turn some heads and surprise some people. As I mentioned in the open, a lot of players play their club ball in Spain. They have experience, they have talent, and they have a head coach in Boccicardi who is very close with Diego Justozzi, the head coach of Argentina, the reigning World Cup champions. We'll see how much that impacts the Dominican Republic if they are ready for the moment. To surprise people in Group A would not be the first or second surprise of the day. Nicaragua beat Cuba 4-1. El Salvador recorded their first ever point in this competition by tying the United States 1-1. So this would be the 3rd surprise of the day, possibly, if Dominican Republic can produce a result against a favored Guatemalan side. Opportunity here, across, nobody there. Busy in the early going, Marco Gomez. Guatemala, last time around, 2 wins, 1 draw in the group stage play. Sent across, but too strong for Arevalo. In the knockout stages, Guatemala lost in the semifinal to Costa Rica 7-1 before beating Cuba 3-2 in the 3rd place match. If you've been watching through the night, we've told the story. Panama has increased its finish year by year. 5th in 04, 4th in 08, 3rd in 12, 2nd in 16. Guatemala, though, has trended the other direction. They won in 08, 2nd in 12, and 3rd in 16. So they're looking to put the arrow back in the upward direction, and it starts in this matchup against Dominican Republic. Jose Perez out to clear that one. Santizo. Volley deflected out for a corner. Effort from Alan Aguilar. David Rondon directing traffic for Dominican Republic. Wearing the captain's armband in the middle. Sent through, chested down, volleyed, and nearly something magical from Mancilla. Rocket at his chest, but a soft enough touch to let it die down to the right foot. Cross-body volley just whiskers wide of the post. Both benches lively with applause and cheers for Guatemala. Of course, wishing their crowd was here to cheer them on too. For the Dominican Republic, proud to be making the nation's first appearance in this tournament. Arevalo could not quite touch it by on the left side. Jaime De Leon, head coach for Guatemala. They have spent a lot of time preparing for this tournament, hoping to lift the trophy on home soil. They did a tour of Brazil, one of the best futsal nations in the world, in which they played some of the biggest, best juggernauts among the club teams in Brazil to prepare for this tournament, hoping to improve their skill and sharpen their play by going up against some of the world's best. We'll see if it pays off. From distance, incredible finish to get things going. Alan Aguilar gets Guatemala on the board with a rocket. In and out of the net in a flash. Rebounded off the back bar. That holds up the goal, not the crossbar. Aguilar opens the scoring in style. 2.5 minutes into the match. Nothing you can do but tip your cap if you're playing for Dominican Republic. Just too good a shot from the 31-year-old Aguilar. Now Dominican Republic, how do they respond? Playing from behind in their first ever match of their first ever Concacaf Futsal Championship appearance. The winner of Group A will face the runner-up of Group D in the next round. Guatemala hoping to be that winner of Group A, is certainly favored to do so. Nearly a giveaway. Moscoso in the number 4 kit for Dominican Republic. Had an opportunity to press that one, but that ball just floats through in no man's land. Possession their way, and for the second time, they've scored directly from that kick-in. Cannot do that, has to take a touch. Guatemalan players wisely now have twice just gotten out of the way so as not to accidentally deflect it in which case it would count. Rondon leaves it for Moscoso. Official coming in, telling Guatemala to give some more space on the kick-in. They'll do it again, this time from further up. Jose Reyes yet to be tested in goal. Again, a couple have entered the goal, but directly from the kick-in do not count. Perez. Loose ball taken by Hector Perez. Under heavy pressure, Hector Perez plays out of it. Across the halfway, inside, shot blocked. Good opportunity for Rondon. Good look from Hector Perez. But stepping across to make the play, Marvin Sandoval. Seemed like Jose Reyes had it covered too, but the defender not allowing it to even get to his keeper. Guillermo Lopez trying to duplicate what Aguilar did on a blast from distance, but did not fine-tune that one quite enough. Alvarado. Back to Umes. Hector Perez created that last chance. Goes back. Inside. Lopez. Back to Perez. Dominican Republic controlling some of the play here as they look to get that goal back. 5 minutes into the first half. Alan Aguilar's goal for Guatemala, the difference. And now a foul called against Guatemala. Marvin Sandoval, the guilty party. Perez with some tricky footwork. We've seen it a few times already. Moscoso heads it back in, wants it back, doesn't get it back though. Lopez does win a kick-in. Across, might have taken a touch on the way in. It did not. Shot from Rondon. Long toss. Looking up in the direction of Walter Enriquez, but headed clear by Moscoso. Through another rocket attempt, this time from Umes. couple of players trying to imitate Allen Aguilar, but none able to replicate it yet. His rocket from distance, off of a kick in. The only goal so far. Joe Malfa with you for the 5th match of the day here on match day 1 of the 2021 Concacaf Futsal Championship. First matchup in Group A. 3 of the 4 groups each day will only have 1 game instead of 2, with an unbalanced number, this being one of them. Laid off, shot blocked, coming in from Rondon. The only balanced group of 4 teams, Group D, US, Cuba, El Salvador, Nicaragua. They'll play each day, with Thursday being the tournament-wide day off. That shot nearly duplicates what Aguilar did, but the first big save made by Jose Reyes. Connecting well with that one was Rondon. Dominican Republic not going anywhere. They're controlling the play here. They are here to stay here in this first half. There was a cloud of mystery around this Dominican Republic team. How would they look in their first ever futsal championship? But with their pedigree in terms of the coaching and where some of their players play their club futsal, had a sense they might surprise some, perhaps come in second in this group behind Guatemala. But forget coming in second. They are giving Guatemala all they can handle here in the first half of the first half, nearly 10 minutes in. One great chance for Guatemala on a stellar strike from Aguilar. The difference, but Dominican Republic have had a few chances of their own. Shouts for handball. There's another kick in. Take 3 on the kick in for Dominican Republic. Sent across, knocked away by Umes. 3 on 2 the other way. Stepping to it well, Rondon, the captain, has been everywhere so far for Dominican Republic. Gonzalez gets it back into play. I don't think we've seen Guillermo Lopez or David Rondon come off the pitch yet for Dominican Republic. Those two have been all over the place, defensively and offensively. Through, saved by Reyes. Again getting involved, Lopez. Just mentioned it. It's been Lopez, it's been Rondon, and Lopez nearly leveled the score. Big save from Reyes. That shot from distance into the advertising boards. A little shrug from Sestero. Knows he mishit it, but an open lane to take that shot and at least have an opportunity at it. Thumbs up from Campagnac. Could not quite connect on that long toss from Reyes. Holding up play. Lopez taken down, no call. The other way, Campagnac. Gonzalez back. Gonzalez again. Across, Campagnac can't get a foot to it. Nice build up from the Guatemalans. The ball across from Wanderlei Ruiz. Just a bit too strong in the end. Whistle goes against Dominican Republic. Quickly back into play. Almost given away at the back. Heavy touch from Ale. But it all works out in the end, and now it's back in the midst of Reyes. Sprinting off his line and pumped up about it. Maybe less so pumped up about the play he made and more irritated with his teammates for not being there. Jose Perez. A turn from Gonzalez. A steal from Lopez. Wouldn't be too off base to say that Dominican Republic has arguably been the better team for stretches of this first 8.5 minutes. The only goal for Guatemala on a screamer from Alan Aguilar. Outside of that, no real easy chances for Guatemala. They've been trying to shoot through traffic and making miscues like that. Panama, 2016's runner-up. They made a statement with an 11-1 win. Costa Rica, 2016 and 2012 champion. They made a statement with a 7-0 win. What can Guatemala do? Third place last time, and that one just wide from Gonzalez. Guatemala looking to showcase themselves after the two teams they were looking up at the end of the last tournament made tremendous first impressions of their own. But so far, not the case for Guatemala. Still winning. The Dominican Republic giving them all they can handle. And it's starting with this high pressure from Rondon. He and Guillermo Lopez have been all over the place. Rondon in the number 6 kit. Lopez in the number 10 jersey. And another miscue, giving the ball away for Guatemala. Jaime De Leon, head coach, cannot be too happy with the way his team has looked so far, especially in the last 4 or so minutes. They were playing better in the first few minutes, but the last 4 or 5 minutes, the pendulum has swung in Dominican Republic's favor. Rondon blasts one in, takes 2 deflections, and cleared away, out for a kick-in. Kelvino Valle, head coach for Dominican Republic. He has to be pleased with the way his side has looked so far. Holding their own on the road in Guatemala against Guatemala. Who knows what the atmosphere and the situation on the field will be like if this were a packed house on the home soil for Guatemala, but not the case. And a shoe goes flying. The ball ends up in the hands of Jose Perez. They wait for Guatemala to gather themselves once again after Ruiz's shoe went flying. Fair play to the Dominican Republic. Inside, intercepted. Rondon steps to it after it was initially deflected by Hector Perez, and Jose Perez took his eye off of it. Fortunately, it was wide of the goal, and he was able to get back to it. $9:50 to go here in the first half. Joe Malfa here with you. Action taking place at Domo Polideportivo in Guatemala City, Guatemala. Group A action of the 2021 Concacaf Futsal Championship. The host side, Guatemala, looking to replicate their 2008 success. Only 3 countries through the first 6 Concacaf Futsal Championships have lifted the trophy. United States in the inaugural edition in 1996, and again in 2004. Guatemala did it in 08, and Costa Rica did it in 2000, 2012, and 2016. So Guatemala can boast the fact that they are one of the 3 to win it. They want to join the other 2 nations as multiple-time winners. Sent across and just flicked wide from Santizo. Opportunities have been hard to come by for Guatemala. A swarming defensive effort for the Dominican Republic. So when you have one like that, you want to convert. Now the other way, Hector Perez! Hands on the head, looks skyward, can't believe it. Prime opportunity to draw level at 1 apiece. Perez out wide, near side, Rondon mishits it. Arevalo chips it. Aguilar, the goal scorer, still on that rifle off the kick in. Rondon put it into space. His teammates couldn't capitalize. Arevalo gives it right back. And for the first time, oh, never mind, duped us. I thought Rondon was finally coming off the field for a quick breather. He was just going over to retrieve the ball to take the kick in. Cap into this side. Jose Reyes has had to make one big save. Hector Perez just missed the net. And another good opportunity for Dominican Republic. Still a 1-0 scoreline, shot blocked. Nobody there to get the rebound on the ricochet for Guatemala. Hector Perez can't keep it in. Off the back of Aguilar, friendly fire. Rondon had his head up, perhaps looking for Marco Gomez, open in the arc. Couldn't get it there. Moscoso set to take the kick in. Has to hurry, gets it in. Rondon can't handle it. Up for Mancia. For a shrieking Aguilar right down the middle. Aguilar, the captain, still has the lone goal in this match. Another violation for Guatemala. In this match so far, going more to the form of the first two we saw today. Nicaragua beat Cuba 4-1. U.S. El Salvador tied 1-1. A tighter, lower scoring affair than the last two we saw. Combined 18-1 as Panama beat Suriname 11-1 and Costa Rica 7-0 with the win. This one saved by Perez. Good opportunity for Mancilla, but a better save from Jose Perez. Clean look, clean save. Aguilar's shot deflects. It'll be a corner for Guatemala. Chipped, taken down, but Mancilla can't execute the turn for the shot. Mancilla, taken away by Lopez. Back to Arevalo. Has it factored in offensively in this one? Did have 4 goals in one game last tournament, back in 2016. Lopez working on Aguilar, turns, shoots, it somehow deflects in. Right place, right time, Marco Gomez, the first goal in futsal history in the Concacaf Championship for the Dominican Republic. It wasn't pretty. A fortunate ricochet off the goalie. Gomez didn't even know where it was, but all that matters in the end, he knows it hit the back of the net, and it's 1-1. First appearance for Dominican Republic as a nation in this tournament. First game of that first appearance, and first ever goal. Marco Gomez. They've deserved it. They have been the better of the two for most of this first half, in my estimation. And now it's level again, 1-1. Dominican Republic calling a timeout as well. Looking to bottle up this momentum, keep it going after the quick break. They have to be very happy with the way they played so far. The captain, Rondon, getting them all huddled up. Jaime De Leon working things out with the hosts, Guatemala. Here's a look at the opening goal, the rocket from Aguilar. And the 2 goals we've seen in this match could not be 2 more different goals. There's that rocket, and then there's this accidental tap-in from about 3 inches off the goal line by Marco Gomez. They all count the same on the scoreboard, and it's 1-1 between Dominican Republic and Guatemala. Carlos Bochacardi, head coach, Dominican Republic. Argentine international. Works closely with Diego Giustosi, his fellow countryman, who is the head coach of the reigning World Cup champion Argentina team. And whatever they have done to prepare this Dominican Republic side for this tournament through 13 and a half minutes, looking like it's paid off. See if it can continue. Touch the other way for Guatemala. Shot, save again. Jose Perez with a couple of big ones, and he's pumped about it. A lot of emotion shown from these Dominican Republic players. How could you blame them? First ever appearance in this tournament. I think to when this game started, the first time they ever got to hear their anthem played for a tournament match. Emotions certainly running high. And you contrast that with Guatemala, who for the first time is playing here on home soil in this arena without their raucous fans cheering them on. So two opposite ends of the emotional spectrum. You wonder how that is weighing on both of these teams. And a half that's 14 minutes and 7 seconds old, and has seen Dominican Republic as the better of the two sides, at least again in my humble estimation. Up the field, Lopez. A stumble, getting up right away. Alvarado, when he has to, playing from the ground, would have meant an indirect free kick. Dominican Republic. Jimenez back to Rondon, whose only break still has been that timeout. He has not shifted out of this match. Making the run into space. Well timed on the challenge from Humes. Holding that elbow. Doesn't feel great to slide like that on this surface if it catches the bare skin. But a well-timed challenge nonetheless. Humes has options, chips it forward. Sandoval saved by Perez from a tight angle. Lopez ranging the other way. Takes a deflection, out for a kick in. Rondon shot deflected by Humes. Under 5 to go in this first half. A hotly contested one. Bochacardi placed a heavy emphasis on strength and conditioning for these players. It's certainly paying off for Rondon, who is yet to come off for a breather. Sent towards goal and stopped. Again, cannot score directly from those kick-ins. Dominican Republic has done it twice, and all it means is possession goes over to Guatemala. Part of the reason Bochacardi placed such an emphasis on the physical conditioning, according to him, was they weren't entirely sure if they would or wouldn't have to play this tournament wearing masks, and in the event the players had to wear masks, he wanted that extra lung capacity for the players, because he knew it would be tougher to breathe with them on during the course of play, but as you can see, not forced to wear them during play. But still, that extra conditioning certainly paying off nonetheless. Again, especially for David Rondon, who for the ball now has yet to come off the field. His only break, the timeout that was taken by Dominican Republic. And even in that timeout, he was animated, talking, waving people on the bench. So he wasn't actively playing, but he was still active as everybody else caught a breather, drank some water. 32-year-old captain of this Dominican Republic squad. We've already seen two surprising results today. If Dominican Republic were to earn a draw or even earn a win, can't really say or gauge how surprising it would be, because again, they were such an unknown coming in. And with talent playing abroad in Spain and with such a great coaching pedigree, you knew they would be solid here in their first ever appearance in this tournament. But until they got out there, you wouldn't quite know how good they'd look. They've passed the test so far. 4 to go in this first half. Rondon, another play. Taking it himself on his right foot. Rondon, end line, and it's blocked by Ruiz. Well done on the challenge, across, and that's the go-ahead goal for Guatemala. Marvin Sandoval. He won it on the steal, a quick give and go. Cleanly won it. Went to Campagnac, and then sent in on the give and go to the empty net. Perez made every effort to get back and get a fingertip to it. In a half that's been controlled by Dominican Republic. A really stellar defensive play in the attacking half from Sandoval turns into a goal. And Guatemala retakes the lead. Heavy challenge from behind as Alvarez goes tumbling down. Foul goes against Campagnac. Rondon rockets it. Opportunity again for Guatemala across Rondon. There, Campagnac's shot blocked. Still alive, this one in. Guatemala with 2 goals in rapid succession. And they take a 2-goal lead, 3-1 for the host nation. Just a quick lapse over the last minute for Dominican Republic, and Guatemala makes them pay. It's Jose Ale with the goal. Puts the laces through it, nothing Jose Perez could do about that. And this is more like it from Guatemala. I mentioned Panama made their statement with a big win. Costa Rica made their statement with a big win. Just waiting to see it from Guatemala to answer. Those 2 teams came in first and second in 2016. Guatemala came in third. And now in the last couple of minutes here in this first half, we're seeing what they can do. Does this half have any more goals left in it? Went through 16 minutes with just 2. That one blocked and takes a second deflection. Guatemala possession. 2 in the first 14 minutes, 2 in the last minute and a half. But the last 2, both for Guatemala. And a 3-1 lead for Jaime De Leon's squad. Ale, the goal scorer from a moment ago, over to Campagnac, back to Ale, and a foul is called against Jose Bayard. Two-handed shove in the back from Bayard. Free kick for Guatemala. Under 2 to go here in this first half. And a 3-1 Guatemalan lead. They're looking to add to it. Wanderlei Ruiz. Ruiz inside, flicked out. Ale keeps it in, barely. Centers it, volley! Always going wide. Fernando Campagnac. If he connected with it properly, could have been something spectacular. Now a foul the other way. Game getting more physical here in the closing moments of the first half. That foul and admission from Pablo Gonzalez that he was about to get beat down the wing. Very nice touch by Marcel Sestero. Wholesale changes for Guatemala. 4 off, 4 in. base hit from Arevalo. 87 seconds remain in this first half. Too heavy on the turn from Cestero. Arevalo. 75 seconds to go. Deflected, but a foul goes against Belliard. Putting the arm into the chest of Santizo as he fought for the ball. Santizo maybe caught an arm to the face there as well, checking the nose for some blood. He's all right. Flicked on. Aguilar opened the scoring. Captain for Guatemala. Out wide. Arevalo off the crossbar. Had 4 in a game last tournament. Vying for his first there. Great look at it here. Maybe off the fingertip of Perez. If it did hit the fingertip, he needed every little bit of it to get it onto the crossbar. It's Guatemala's kick in. .40 seconds to go in the first half. Arevalo. Back into play. Aguilar. Back to Aguilar. Waiting for an option. Forced to go back with it to Arevalo. Santizo. Inside for Mancia. 2 men converge. Cestero can't find space, and he commits a foul. And something extracurricular there, too. A late shove. Cestero apologetic. But it's not going to keep him from having a chat with Josh Wilkins, the referee. Here's the initial foul. 8 seconds to go. One last chance, perhaps, for Guatemala. 3 seconds to go. Guatemala's ball. One opportunity to just plow something through towards the goal. Aguilar lays it off. Santizo, 1 second. Aguilar is not going to even take a shot as the buzzer sounds. Early stages of this half, Dominican Republic held their own. A 1-1 scoreline it was until 2 late goals in the half gave Guatemala a 3-1 lead at the halftime break. Back in a moment with highlights from that first half of action. 20 minutes complete here in Group A of the 2021 Concacaf Futsal Championship. Joe Malfa here with you for this matchup between Dominican Republic and Guatemala, which is led by the host nation, Guatemala, 3-1. Take a look at the highlights from the first half. In the early stages, Guatemala was able to get off the mark with a rocket from Alan Aguilar. So chances both ways, and Aguilar finally converts with that rocket. Looked like it hit the crossbar because it was shot so hard. What it really hit was the back bar on the inside and had so much force that it ricocheted out. A great look at it here. Into the back bar and just bounces out with so much force. Dominican Republic held their own early, had chances, and ultimately, fortunately for them, on a bounce, they were able to convert. This is their first game of their first appearance in this tournament, and they would draw level 1-1 in a hotly contested first half. Opportunities like that just slightly by the wayside for Guatemala. Some nice saves made by Jose Perez. There, another one for Jose Perez. And then going the other way, the shot bounces right down off of Jose Reyes' right hand into the path of Marco Gomez, who was looking around for it, but he didn't realize it hit off his right leg and went into the net. Actually, it hit off his left leg first, then to his right leg, then in, before he even realized what had happened. But what had happened was he tied it 1-1, but things changed. Last few minutes of the half, great defensive play by Marvin Sandoval. Gets it back on the assist from Campagnac and slots it into the empty net after Perez had committed to Campagnac. That made it 2-1 Guatemala. And then moments later, they were able to make it 3-1. The ball ricocheted out wide. Jose Ale was able to put it home. There's one bounce. He settles it and then laces through it upper 90. That made it 3-1 Guatemala, and that is how the first half finished. The host nation slow to start, Dominican Republic holding their own, but Guatemala with a great closing kick to the half. A 3-1 lead. Back in a few moments with half number 2. City, Guatemala. Joe Malfa here with you for action in the 2021 Concacaf Futsal Championship. First ever appearance for Dominican Republic against the host nation, Guatemala. And it's the Guatemalans with a 3-1 lead set to begin the second half. Dominican Republic in their first appearance. A lot of uncertainty around how they would look, but so far acquitting themselves very well and perhaps putting Trinidad and Tobago on notice as well, the third team in this group. Top two teams advance to the knockout stages. Very well could be Dominican Republic, even if they don't get the result here tonight. Certainly showing they are not to be taken lightly. And they'll have 20 minutes to try to get a point out of this one at least. Second half underway. Dominican Republic going right to left in the navy blues. Guatemala left to right in the home whites with a light blue stripe diagonally down the chest. Goals in the first half for Guatemala scored by Aguilar, Ale, and Sandoval in that order. And Marco Gomez with a lone goal for Dominican Republic. Last half of action on this match day one here in this tournament. So far today, Nicaragua beat Cuba 4-1, and the United States and El Salvador drew 1-1. That puts Nicaragua at the top of Group D at the end of the day, followed by the United States and El Salvador with 1 point each, and Cuba at the bottom. Those two were both big surprises. Firstly, Nicaragua beating Cuba. Secondly, the United States drawing El Salvador for El Salvador's first ever point in this competition going back to 1996. The second two games, Panama, last tournament's runner-up in 2016, 11-1 demolition of Suriname, and Costa Rica, a 7-0 dismantling of Haiti. Costa Rica, the two-time reigning champions. Both teams making statements that they would like to be back in the finals equation again. Guatemala came in third in 2016, and they're hoping to follow up the wins by Panama and Costa Rica with one of their own. The Dominican Republic giving them all they can handle. That one takes a deflection in the area. The yard goes back. Rondon, who has played every moment of this match so far. We've seen both teams making a lot of changes on the fly, but one constant, Rondon, as Perez just has to get rid of this one under duress. Arevalo gets it back into play to Aguilar. Arevalo looking for Aguilar across the field. Back to Rondon. Taken away, Arevalo, but Aguilar beaten to it by Rondon. Another takeaway. Sandoval off the post. Excuse me, that's Santizo with the shot that rings off the post. Odd angle outside of the foot. Perez just watches it plank off the post. Turn from Lopez, taken down. Gomez fighting for it. Santizo clears it. And last off of Mancia. Five more games to come tomorrow. Rondon sends it over everything. Tomorrow's slate begins with El Salvador against Cuba, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, followed by Nicaragua and the United States at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Two matchups in Group D. That looks a bit upside down, as I mentioned after today's results. At 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Mexico faces Suriname in a matchup that could mean a lot in terms of goals scored and goal differential, if we are to believe that Mexico should win that game as is perceived. In the event Panama and Mexico tie their match, could come down to which of those two teams beats Suriname by more. And the mark already set by Panama at 11-1. Foul goes against Dominican Republic here. Thwarts any opportunity at an attack. The last two matchups to round out tomorrow, Canada against Haiti at 8 p.m. And then 10 p.m. Trinidad and Tobago against this Dominican Republic side. Again, all times Eastern time, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Eastern for tomorrow's 5 matches. Arevalo turns out to Mancia. Back to Santizo. Arevalo. Santizo. Aguilar's already scored from distance once. Seemed to be winding up, but plays across to Arevalo. Good ball movement from Guatemala. Inside Arevalo. 3-1 lead. Not in any hurry to force something on goal. Playing it back. Buying some time, creating some space. Up towards Aguilar, but the wrong weight on it. Out for a kick-in. And the goal scorer for Dominican Republic, Marco Gomez, seemed to pull himself off the field there. Seemed to be favoring his left leg. Santizo. Fired up. Jose Perez makes the save once again, trying to will his team back into it. Through the first 16 minutes of the first half, hotly contested, evenly matched. Aguilar's rocket is blocked. Left-footed attempt, not close. But those last 4 minutes of the first half, things tilted in favor of Guatemala. Perez trying to supply the energy to get Dominican Republic back into it, down only 2 goals. They had plenty of chances in the first half, only converted 1. Across, nearly there. Their first dangerous chance in the second half belongs to Guillermo Lopez, and it's one he'll want back. There was a lot of weight on that pass. It wasn't something that was easy to deal with. It needed to be better. Guatemala won in 2008, and they made the semifinals in each of the last 3 tournaments. Winners in 08, runners-up in 12, third-place finishers in 2016. They qualified for 3 consecutive World Cups, hoping to make it 4 in a row this time around. 24 teams in the field at the 2021 Futsal World Cup in Lithuania. This iteration of the FIFA Futsal World Cup, the third to have 24 teams. The one preceding it had 20, and the first 5 all only had 16. Great to see it growing. 18 of the 24-team field is set. This Friday, we'll have the quarterfinals in this tournament. The 4 left standing at the end of Friday night will all punch tickets for the World Cup. And Rondon in serious pain, rolling around, yelling. Hasn't come off the field tonight. And a hush falls over his teammates on the bench. Immediately went down, holding his right knee. A joust between the 2 players, won by Enriquez. And Rondon caught the worst of it. If he can't continue a massive blow to Dominican Republic, not only tonight, but for tomorrow night's match as well. Hopefully everything is all right with Rondon. As I mentioned, he has not come off the field tonight. Take another look. It's that right leg he's favoring. In a sport with so many substitutions on the fly, remarkable that he hasn't come off yet. His only breathers have been the one timeout that was taken in the first half and the halftime break. This is the first time tonight Dominican Republic is playing without him on the field. Hope all the best for him. Hope he can return to this one in short order. Puts the penny on the bottom of your screen. Before the injury, I was finishing up the note on the World Cup field. 2 spots will remain after this week, after 4 Concacaf tickets are punched. Those 2 tickets will be won by either Iraq or Thailand, and then Lebanon or Vietnam in the 2 playoff matches set to take place at the end of May. Brazil has 5 titles, Spain has 2 titles, Argentina, the reigning champs. The only 3 nations to have lifted the FIFA Futsal World Cup, much like there are only 3 nations to have lifted so far the Concacaf Futsal Championship trophy, Guatemala being one of them. And a tie again between this Dominican Republic team and that Argentina title-winning team in 2016, as head coach Carlos Bochacardi for Dominican Republic is close with Diego Giustosi, head coach of that Argentine World Cup champion squad. And they work closely together in preparation of this tournament for Dominican Republic. Whatever uncertainty there was around this team, making its first ever appearance in this tournament, starting to get some answers to those questions tonight. They are a tenacious squad who has been right there this whole way against Guatemala. The better of the 2 sides for much of the first half, but a lapse in the last 3 or so, or 4 or so minutes of that first half turned a 1-1 draw that saw Dominican Republic as the better of the 2 teams into a 3-1 Guatemala lead. That one stays in somehow. The shot goes wide. Moscoso knocked out, last off of Javier Pepen. Guatemala's ball. Only 5 minutes and 15 seconds gone here in this second half. Guatemala holding on to that 2-goal lead, but kick incoming for Dominican Republic after a giveaway from Guatemala. Still no sign yet of Rondon. Injured his knee, it appeared to be a few moments ago, after playing every minute of the first half. Four changes coming for Guatemala. Flicked on. Across. What a play for Dominican Republic. Incredible interconnectivity on that goal. They bring one back, and it's 3-2. It starts with that back heel flick, then a cross, and finally put in by Steven Dominguez. The flick from Pepen, a cross from Moscoso. Jose Reyes got a piece of it, but not the whole thing. And the whole thing ends up in the net to make it a 3-2 ball game. Expect the intensity to ratchet up a few notches once again now that it's a 1-goal game. is how it looked in the first half as well. Dominican Republic, the aggressors, pressuring high. Guatemala trying to find something, but not being given much by Dominican Republic. Again, that all changed in the last 4 minutes of that first half. Guatemala found 2 opportunities, converted both, and made it a 3-1 game. Now 3-2. 13.5 minutes remain. We've seen 1 draw today between the U.S. and El Salvador. The other 3 matches all provided 3 points for one of the 2 teams. Nicaragua beat Cuba, Panama beat Suriname, Costa Rica beat Haiti. Ambitious volley attempt from Ale. Already 1 goal. Not a second on that effort. So far, you have to say Panama and Costa Rica, respectively the runners-up and winners of the last tournament, have made much better first statements in this tournament than the 3rd place side from 2016 and the host nation this time around, Guatemala. Of course, they want to make the World Cup. They're not satisfied unless they lift the trophy here on home soil, as they did in 2008. Winner of this group plays the runner-up of Group D that features the United States, Nicaragua, Cuba, and El Salvador in the quarterfinals. The runner-up of this group will face the winner of that group. Groups A and D connecting in the quarters. Groups B and C connecting in the quarters. Opportunity to get that goal back for Guatemala, but it's poked away. Ruiz couldn't get it through. Still alive. And again, Dominican Republic pouncing to everything, not giving Guatemala an inch. Kept in, centered. Perez just slaps it away. And it appears as if Rondon is flexing that right knee. He shed the penny, and he's up on the sideline ready to check back in. A very welcome sight for everybody on this Dominican Republic squad. Getting their captain back into the match at any moment now. Cut back, gone forward, saved by Perez. Goal comes off. It's proper placement. And Rondon will check back in. Take another look at this opportunity. Saved by Perez as he falls then into the post. Rondon missed about 4.5 minutes of game action after he played every minute of that first half. Launched forward over everybody. To Rondon, now sporting a pink brace on that right knee. Gomez can't quite squirt through. Ruiz has Gonzalez with him. Takes a deflection off Rondon, out for a kick-in. It appeared as if Dominguez was signaling for a substitution for Dominican Republic. Perez mishits it. That's a miscue. He'll walk back. Gonzalez makes him pay. 2-goal lead restored for Guatemala. Perez had a chance to grab it right off the kick-in. Hit off of his thigh. Gonzalez makes it count. Take another look. Just played poorly by Jose Perez. Right out to Gonzalez, who made no mistake and let out a roar afterwards. Gonzalez putting all the emotions on display for Guatemala. Saw him tearing up during the national anthem. And now a boisterous yell after restoring his nation's 2-goal lead, 4-2, 11:30 remaining here in the second half. Arevalo out wide, shot saved by Perez, kept alive. Quickly the other way, end-to-end action, opportunity stopped. Jose Reyes matching Jose Perez save for save in that exchange. Moscoso sent his defender flying, could not pick out a corner in the end. Aguilar checks back in for Guatemala. Heavy challenge put in. Rondon gets up fine. Gonna get the floor cleaned up a bit from the sweat. The cause for the delay. Back to the action. Gomez. Rondon sent forward, but too strong. Arevalo. Turned over at midfield. Perez to Rondon. Nearly halfway through this second half. Dominican Republic needs to respond. They went down 1-0. They tied it 1-1. They went down 3-1. They brought it back within 1 to a 3-2 scoreline. Guatemala has pushed it back to a 2-goal lead, 4-2. On the goal from Pablo Gonzalez. Giveaway. Nobody there to support the effort from Ricardo Alvarez. Aguilar opened the scoring. Jose Ale, Marvin Sandoval, Pablo Gonzalez, the other goal scorers for Guatemala. Marco Gomez and Steven Dominguez, the goal scorers for Dominican Republic. Shot from distance is seen the whole way and stopped by Jose Reyes. Rondon gives it back. Lopez back and forth, earns a corner. 4 changes coming in for Guatemala. Guillermo Lopez takes it quickly. Across to Rondon. Heavy touch, gives it away. Opportunity squandered. Over the top, and coming out to greet Gonzalez was Jose Perez, and now he'll get it back into play. Palms the ball, rolls it left. Kept alive by Guatemala. Stolen. Santizo inside to the left. Oh, Arevalo collapses to the ground. Had a sitter, sent it wide. Rather, didn't really even make contact with it on second look. Just a swing and a miss from Arevalo. Santizo. Arevalo, and play stops. Heavy challenge behind the play. Down in a lot of pain, I believe, is Guillermo Lopez. .9:22 remaining in the second half. Opportunity for players on both teams to catch their breath. With a concern. Lopez. He got the magic spray out on his knee. He's holding his face. Happened behind the play. Unsure of what happened. See if we can tell from this reverse angle. Went to the ground holding the right knee. Being helped off by his teammates. Sestero and Perez. Not putting any pressure on that right leg. Guillermo Lopez, scary sight. See the emotion in his face. Being carried off. Whatever the injury was to the right knee, it was non-contact. Just went down in a heap. Being carried off by two members of the staff. Jersey over the head. Thoughts with him. Scary sight to see. Back to the action. 9:15 remaining. First ever appearance for Dominican Republic in this tournament. Acquitting themselves well. Their second matchup tomorrow, and they hope it's not their last. Round robin format. Each team in groups A, B, and C play 2 matches. Teams in group D play 3 matches, everybody playing each group member once. Dominican Republic hoping this is not their last match. They'll need a result against Trinidad and Tobago tomorrow night if this scoreline is to hold. But still 9 minutes to change this scoreline. And they've been persistent all evening, staying with it. Kept alive by Enriquez. Sprint, Sandoval out of his net, and making a big save is Perez. Take another look. The energy brought to this matchup by Perez, unmatched by any other player on either side tonight. Forward, nobody home. Enriquez across to Gomez. Guatemala looking to add to this lead. You imagine if they are able to get a 5th, that might do it. A 5th would mean Dominican Republic would have to more than double their goal scoring output from the first 3 quarters of this matchup in the last 8 minutes or so. Guatemala pressing for that 5th. Nearly had it a moment ago with Sandoval, but the big save from Perez. Sandoval with it again. Time winding down. Sandoval gets it back. His shot fools Perez. who was going towards the far post. Shot came near post, but too wide of the near post. Errant pass. Sandoval again deflected out for a corner by Moscoso. Even right back. Called against Marco Gomez, who has the first goal in history for the Dominican Republic at a Concacaf Futsal Championship. In the middle, Sandoval lays it off. Nearly worked to perfection, the give and go with Enriquez. Less of a give and go, more of a give and leave it. As Sandoval just stopped it on a tee for Enriquez. Too strong on the shot. Goes by the wayside. If Dominican Republic get back into this one, that's one that'll stick out in the minds of the Guatemalan players. Wide open shot from around the penalty spot. Could have made it 5-2. Moscoso for Gomez. Clap from Gomez. Dominican Republic hanging on. Time wearing thin. A chance! Robbery from Perez. Gonzalez nearly had his second. Probably should have had his second. What a stop from Perez, who was celebrating as he was making the save. He knew he made it. Another opportunity is blocked on the way in. Over the top, Perez. That one an easy grab. Last off of Gomez. He's unhappy with it. Gonzalez. Campagna. All the way back now. Reyes. Over the top. Flipped out for a corner. Passed off the head of Moscoso. In front. Gonzalez couldn't find the footing on it. It rolled up his foot, hit him in the thigh, went out. The opportunities are there for Guatemala to find the fifth. But with each minute that passes by, it's looking more and more like 4 will be enough for Guatemala. And as I've harped on through this match and through the previous 2 matches, Panama and Costa Rica Every goal counts. Could play a big role in the tiebreaker if need be. Wednesday, the last day of group play before Thursday's rest day, and the quarterfinals on Friday. And if there's any tie top the table, or a tie between the two teams in second and third, it will be decided by goal differential, then by goals scored. That is if the head-to-head record is a draw. But the goals all important in this round-robin format. Gonzalez shouts for a handball. Not called. Rondon still persistent. This late in the match. Out wide. Nobody making the run inside, though. Rondon played every minute of the first half. Missed only about 5 minutes here in the second half. Dominican Republic will play tomorrow night against Trinidad and Tobago. And pending the result of that match, they will be very in-tune spectators on Wednesday night as they look on and see Trinidad playing Guatemala. If this result holds, Dominican Republic will need at least a point against Trinidad to have a chance to finish as the group runners-up come Wednesday. And then they'll need to root for Guatemala winning handily. Perez makes another big save. Still alive in front, nearly an own goal, but a save again by Perez. Gomez the other way with pace, and now things settle down. But as I was saying, Dominican Republic will need at least 1 point tomorrow against Trinidad, assuming this result holds in the last 3 minutes and 35 seconds, in order to be alive come Wednesday night. In which case there'll be Guatemala fans. Backside, net moves a little bit, play continues. No stoppage for the net moving, and now they will fix it. Opportunity again on the backside for Santizo after it was mishandled by Perez. He's made a lot of big saves, but he's had a couple of mishandles. One of them led to that fourth goal for Guatemala, scored by Gonzalez. But a lot more good than a couple of the miscues from Jose Perez tonight in goal for Dominican Republic. His counterpart, Jose Reyes, has been a bit quieter. The opportunities fewer and further between for Dominican Republic, but the ones they've had, they've made count. Only down 2, 3 minutes to go. Aguilar, shot blocked. Each group has one matchup that you can kind of look at and say that one's going to decide the runner-up. In Group B, it's more between Panama and Mexico to see who wins it. In Group C, it's the battle between Canada and Haiti for the runner-up spot. And here, you imagine tomorrow night, Dominican Republic, Trinidad and Tobago, that one's going to decide which team is the runner-up and which is sent packing, coming in third in the group. Opportunity, wrong side of the netting. That fifth goal continues to elude Guatemala. And that net continues to elude the spot it's supposed to be on. Give away in the middle. Almost through to Mancia. The other way, shot blocked by a sliding Arevalo. Pump of the fist from Arevalo. 2-11, separating Guatemala from the 3 points. And obviously, in this format with 3 teams per group, if you win your first match, things would have to go very, very wrong for you to fail to qualify for the quarters. So Guatemala 2 minutes and 11 seconds away from prime position as they look to make the quarters and advance much further. A spot in the semis gives the teams a ticket to the World Cup later this year in Lithuania. But that's not all they want. They want to lift the trophy. Especially Guatemala. They've done it before on home soil in 2008. Looking to do it again. Third place finishers in 2016 behind the runners-up Panama and the winners Costa Rica. Panama we saw earlier tonight. 11-1 dominant performance against Suriname. They're looking to lift this trophy for the first time, and they've improved each time they've participated. 5th in 04, 4th in 08, 3rd in 12, runners up in 16. All that's left for Panama is to join the United States, Guatemala, and Costa Rica as the only 3 nations who have lifted this trophy. Costa Rica's done it 3 times, the United States have done it twice, Guatemala's done it once. This is the first time Dominican Republic has ever been in this tournament. They've had a strong first showing. As I mentioned a couple of times, Trinidad and Tobago officially on notice. Not sure what a lot of teams were expecting out of Dominican Republic, but if tonight's any indication, Trinidad and Tobago is going to get a fight tomorrow night. And what an intense battle that will be. Again, with second place in the group likely on the line. Trinidad wins that tomorrow night. Dominican Republic will be on the outs. A draw makes things interesting going into Wednesday, where Dominican Republic will be rooting for Guatemala to beat Trinidad by more than they lost to Guatemala, which as of now, as you see, 4-2 in favor of Guatemala. That could still change in the last 145. Your Dominican Republic, yes, you want to push for another one and bring it closer, but with that knowledge in mind, where you want to keep it as close as you can and hope that Guatemala beats Trinidad by more, just in case of the event of a draw tomorrow night. You don't want to concede a 5th. Almost better off not conceding a 5th than pushing for a 3rd. But I'm sure a 3rd would be accepted if they can get it. Guatemala has been pushing for that 5th, but opportunity after opportunity left on the table. A weird tightrope act that Dominican Republic have to do here. Yes, getting a 3rd could be huge, but conceding a 5th could be equally as negative in the other direction. A 4-2 scoreline on the wrong side of it. Not what they had hoped, but something they'll probably accept. All these scenarios I'm talking through. A moot point, though, if Dominican Republic come out tomorrow night and beat Trinidad. But with under a minute to go, Guatemala, not the dominant performance we saw from 2016's runners-up in Panama or 2016's champs in Costa Rica, but the 3rd place squad from 2016 on their way to a win. Nonetheless, 3 points is 3 points is 3 points. Any way you slice it, as long as you have one more goal than the other team. And right now, Guatemala has 2 more. 4-2 with 36.6 to go. Rocket save on the dive. Jose Reyes keeping it a 2-goal lead. Again, back to Rondon. Again, the shot saved. This time left foot. This one wide. Fizzed by Pepin. Probably too little too late for Dominican Republic to draw level, but that third goal could go a long way in deciding things against Trinidad in terms of the tiebreaker if need be. Clock winding down. Guatemala about to join the likes of Costa Rica, Panama, and Nicaragua, who all came away with 3 points today. United States and El Salvador, the lone draw, 1-1. Clock winding down. Buzzer sounds. 4-2 win for Guatemala. Dominican Republic lose their first ever matchup in this tournament in their nation's history, but they fight till the end, showcase themselves well, and what a matchup it could be tomorrow night against Trinidad with everything on the line. Back in a few moments with full-time highlights. Guatemala 4, Dominican Republic 2.